Good afternoon to you all from Kerr Fatou once again, and we're here today at the Faculty of Law Auditorium, where there is going to be the launching of Young Dibu, written by Mr. MADIKAY Faal. Well, we're going to take you through the launching, and we hope that you enjoy yourselves.
book bi ñu launch ni yàlla ñu dund yéen itam ba ngeen di launch seen book parce que lii lu am solo la lu am maanaa la te nag tukki ku mu taxaboon fa nga dëkk da nga faa tekkiwul dara boo seetee si askan bi nga juddoo dëgg la nag askan kenn du ko jaay daraja kenn du ko jaay doom kenn du ko jaay waaye nag li leen nit ñi fonkee nag yaa koy may sa bopp nag te Papa Gora loolu la def.
Gora left Gambia, as mentioned, at the age of 17 for the United States. And over the 19 years he spent in America, he went through a journey of professional development and academic excellence. He started this journey at the Department of Defense, where he served for 7 years. And during this time, he learned the importance of discipline, time management, loyalty, and teamwork. While in the US, Gora had the opportunity to study. And during his studies, he left behind a track record of excellence, which should be So while Gora studied in the US, he set a track record of excellence, which should be an example for all young Gambians to follow. As a college student, Gora averaged a GPA of 3.8, which in percentage terms is over 95%. In the university, when he did his Bachelor's of Arts, Gora was listed on the Dean list, and this is one of the highest achievements in the American schooling system. Gora went on from there to pursue a master's degree in sound engineering, and this really tapped into his creative potential, and he gained experience in the field of screenwriting and screenplay. And if you read the book, you will really see that this is the work of a screenwriting mastermind. It is as if you're walking through the forest and you're walking through the mountain of Dolofimo, and it is as if you're face to face with young Dibu as you see him jumping around with the zebras.
We have more reasons to be humble than we do to be arrogant. Come to think of it, we have very little reason to be arrogant. Giving it a second and a careful consideration, the careful and intelligent will conclude that we have no reason to be arrogant. On a carefully considered scale, one will measure the percentage level of reasons to be arrogant at 0%, and the percentage level to be humble and embrace it at 100%. Carefully considering our weaknesses as humans, no man or woman would take a single step harboring arrogance in his or her heart. Look at our food and how and where it ends up. Look at our bodies and how it gets sick and dies, and how it gets old and dies, and how it smells bad when it's neglected, and how it rots and decomposes, and how it aches when the temperature drops, and how it suffers when the temperature rises, and how it is affected by what we eat and what we don't eat, and how it needs more than it is needed. So when running a race, we all know that you need shoes that fit. If the shoe is too tight, or if the shoe is too loose, then how can you win a race? Now, how can we win the race if we always opt out to wear someone else's shoes? It's going to be too tight or too loose. The broom cannot do a good job if there's only one stick or a few sticks, right? And there are only a few broomsticks present here in the Gambia. What do I mean by that? Now imagine that every Gambian in another country is a Gambian broomstick abroad.
This book reminds me of the folk tales that grandparents and parents used to relay to their offspring when I was growing up. The book is written with an eloquent style that captivates the reader from the first page, yet the text is simple enough to welcome readers at several levels. Interestingly, I concluded that both readers with higher and lower levels of education will find a niche in the paragraphs that narrate the story of young Dibu. I strongly recommend it for all schools and families.
What I was going to say is, it's a must to read this literary piece. But I think this is just the beginning for Gora.
It's really a great pleasure to welcome you on the Kerr Fatou. Well, we are going to talk about your book. And the first thing I would like to know is what really inspired you to write such a book, Young Dibu?
Right off the back, what I can say is that it's a personal story, really. And instead of using humans, I decided to use a donkey and a zebra. You can see similarities. You know, the donkey almost looks like a zebra except without the stripes. It's an aching story, and I needed therapy in a way. And I wanted to share it with more than one person. And I felt that writing a book would allow not just the Gambia to know about the pain that I endured, but to also learn from it. As they said, I spent several years in the US, 20 years almost, but the goal was not to achieve something like money or education, even though I ended up going to one of their schools, alhamdulillah. But the goal was to become an American, to change from a Gambian or an African to become an American. And that journey is what I wanted to share. That the concept that many people have that you can become a European or an American, it's false. It's false. I put that in block letters. It's completely false and it's a waste of time. Right. So I wanted to share it, and using the donkey and the zebra. The donkey wanting to, become a zebra. I think it's a unique way of telling that kind of a story.
So very interesting. But why are you saying it's false? What really happened?
If you move from who you are, you pretend to love something that you don't love. You're going to act like someone that you're not, and it's very difficult. You feel the pain in your gut, really, for so many years. And then the fact that I experienced it, and it took me almost 20 years to realize that path is not the path. And alhamdulillah, I'm here in the Gambia because I used to be ashamed to speak Wolof. Truly, I mean, some people might. It was just a feeling of when you feel like where you came from, it's not good enough. Just like the donkey who felt that the bray was uncivilized. So instead of braying, the donkey would do the whinny like the zebra, which is the sound that the zebras make. So help sa bopa dal. Comme niñ ko waxee rek si gars yi when the people that spoke, many of them mentioned similar. waaye olof yi wax nañ ne banta du yàgga si géej bi nekk jësi.
Well, I'm really pleased that you've accepted who you are, and you're trying to find a way to educate people about, you're trying to encourage people to accept themselves. So in every journey, you know that there are difficulties. Would you like to share with us some of the difficulties when you were writing this book?
You can find yourself give up probably more than 10 times when you write a book if you're not careful. But every time you give up, there's something that pushes you to go back to it. I started this book in 2013. I came from the US in 2012, being here in the Gambia, spending time with my mom and my dad, who passed away shortly after, 2 years later, I started realizing a lot of things. So, si time bobu nonu, si la halat bi ni ñew dal ne I've spent all this time. Dega dega, you have to be honest with yourself. Bala nga ko de mëna accept. Ne dega dega dama don try pour nekk kenen. Lolu moy dega bi carrément. That's what I was trying to do. To not just to become a Gambian in America, but to become an American who's no longer a Gambian. You understand? Lolu moy won jublu way bi. Ci sa wax, ci sa ni nga defé yépp. So bima ko started in 2013 when I started this book. I wrote maybe up to 50 something pages, right? Then I left the story. Then I started another job, and the story was there for maybe almost 3 years. Lama ko lan laal tuti rek from time to time ma yokk benn paragraph, léeg-léeg ma change, léeg-léeg ma defaat chapter si, léeg-léeg ma defaat storyline with the plotting, added new names, new characters. And up to 2017, when I was in the UK, Silako Dora finished, and it was only 80 pages. So I sent Dr. Barry. He looked at it, and Muhammad said it was quite motivating. So I push out towards trying to beef up the story. Adding I added characters all the way up to the last bit of it, really. Because you're developing. Sometimes people do stories where they have all the characters. But for this one, they want to send a particular message, and that was someone, right? Or let's say a donkey who wanted to be a zebra. And then, of course, the failure that comes with that. Why, to bring all the ramifications and all the consequences that would come along with that, that took time. And then when we get to the editing part of it, that also took a lot of time, to the point that I had to involve other people. Abdul Karim is one of them, Abu Zubair, who came later. Then I thought about also adding the reviewers, who also didn't just review, but they also the comments, and they even made corrections along the way. So at the end of the day, you see my name on the book as the writer, but supported by many people due to the fact that they gave their suggestions. I didn't accept all the suggestions. Sometimes they'll give a suggestion and you decline it and keep the one that you had initially. But so I guess challenge with Lola, it took me that much time to form the story itself, and then also the accuracy of the story took a lot of time. It was quite time consuming.
If you look at the book, as you can see, it's titled Young Dibu, the donkey that could not pray, and wanted to be a zebra instead. So some of the reviewers here said fantastic things about the book, and some said it is marvelous and that it depicts the happenings here in the Gambia. Some even said it also talks about the irregular migration and the hardship that a mother would actually go through because of a child leaving to take the back journey. So with this book, who are your target? Who are you targeting to read this book?
Everybody, not just the students, but the parents too. Because it's a story that resonates really, especially for Africa, really, all Africans. And I would expand it really to third world, India and all these other places, some parts of India. Because there is this mindset that is still hanging out that we're yet to tackle. If you look at the number of white Americans that bleach their skins, for example, right? I think it's probably zero. I've never seen one, and I've lived in the U.S. for almost 20 years. So let's shift it to the number of black Americans who probably now have a reason to bleach their skins, right? The number is zero that I've seen from what I've seen. I've never met any black American. They're black just like us, sometimes even blacker, right? In America. But you will not see them bleaching their skins. But if you go to India, you have people who are actually lighter than some of these black Americans, and they bleach their skins to become lighter. And here in Africa, I don't have to tell you. Me and you were here. So that's just one area, but it doesn't stop there. It goes to the hair that we have. So what's wrong with it? Evidently, there's something wrong because you see people buying other types. Yeah, all the different names that they have for those hairs. Then it goes even to the speech, and we're all victims. I mean, the way I sound when I speak English. You can hear that, right?
Yeah.
This is not African. So I'm similar to the donkey that could not bray because you're supposed to sound like a donkey, for example, to be able to bray. But when I bray, which is my language, right, it comes out with a whinny, in a way. And you find people here in the Gambia that think that the African accent, right, is a low form of speech. And the languages that we man time bi ma nekkee Mrs. Ndaw, we call it vernacular, and I don't know what they call it now. Waaye soo ko laakaan dañ la solal ticcac bu xuur. So all day that people would see you and say that kii I don't know, they put you down for speaking your linga nampa. So su ko defee yow as you grow up, you would immediately grab on to the fact that there's something better than you or there's someone better than you.
What would be your final words, especially to the young ones?
The simple thing I can say is I plan to do small programs, not big ones, different schools. I'll go and read and talk to the students, and so that they can see that I'm just like them, and I think it will be it'll be inspiring for some of them to see someone who traveled and after all the papers that people are trying to get, American citizenship, American passport and all that stuff, and then to see them here in the Gambia and trying to do something in the Gambia. I think that will help people to know that there's nothing wrong with being here, because many people feel like fii soo demul rek am na lu la jot wala meguloo ko daal.
nit du mën a tekki dara fekk mi ngi jéggaani xam-xam mi ngi ooro xam-xam ndax xam-xamu diine la wala xam-xamu tubaab la bokk na ci li ñu tax a dem lu ñu tax a dellu gannaaw nii lu tax ñu mel nii mooy xeeti xam-xam yi ñu soxla ci wàllu diine ak wàllu àddina ñi di ko jéggaani ma exemple tey su ma ci doon joxe misaal ku dëkk Gambie fii Kombo wala nga dëkk Kiyang wala Ñuumbi ñi jël la yóbbu la fii nga dem Taïwan wala nga dem Espagne nga dem jàngi fa agriculture diplôme boo fa mën a am soo ñëwee fii du wook ngir suuf yi nekkuñ benn ndox yi nekkuñ benn weeda bi nekkul benn gàncax gi nekkul benn agriculture soo ko bëgg a jàng fa nga dëkk nga koy jàngee waaye buñ la jëlee fii yóbbu la Asia wala Europe wala Amérique nga jàng fa agriculture soo ñëwee fii du wook moo tax suñuy borom xam-xam yi mënuñu def dara lu jëriñ réew mi fii nii xam-xam bi ñu jëgaani moo ko tax.
But what we need to do is make sure that this message is a global message. It has a global appeal, but it also has a local appeal. It has to get out into the masses. Because some of the parents are the people who encourage that El Dorado is there. They sell their homes and send their kids to die in the Mediterranean. And we're getting corpses every day. The parents need to also be sensitized. They need to, their psyches, their mental status needs to be also addressed. So I think the next step for Gora is really to see, he has cinematographic skills. How do we now translate it to the next step so that it gets to everybody, including the parents, including the communities, including the world at large? I wouldn't say any further. I would have gone on and on and on. But that's how powerful, how captivating, how encouraging, but how it can help stop this death in the thousands of Gambians, of course, and of all other third world countries as they cross the Mediterranean.
My good people, it is good to be hated for who you are than to be loved for who you are not.
My name is Hadja Tundao, a student of West African International School. Actually, we were present here today to present a drama based on the book that was launched today, Young Dibu, and we performed a drama based on the book, and it was chapter 11. It was written in a prose form, but unfortunately we transformed it into a dramatic form. And it was based on the donkey trying to be who he is not. He wanted to be a zebra, and actually that was, unfortunately, there was a snake, and the snake transformed into a zebra. But still, the zebras were not accepting him as a zebra, and that's all.
I'm so civilized now, Mom. I have to go back to America. Hey, no, this isn't my channel. This is not the channel I have. Here, point of correction, Mama. I'm no more Janab. I'm Baby G, as you can see.
My name is Maria Masi, and we are from Newswood Senior Secondary School. We came here for the book launching of the story Young Dibu, the donkey who cannot brag. It's actually a very interesting book and very educative. So I would like to encourage each and every one of you watching this to purchase the book because it teaches you to appreciate yourself and where you are from. We actually played a drama based on the story, The Donkey Who Cannot Brag. The most important part that we portrayed was the fact that you should know where you are from. You should appreciate who you are, and always, no matter where you are, respect yourself and your culture. Do not give up on yourself no matter the condition you found yourself in.
moo tax na bi yàlla isee ci àdduna ba pare génnee ci ñun ay yonent ba pare wàcce ci ñun ay téere dafa daal di ferenkalaayu ni bàyyee naa leen àdduna yéene ñi ma uutu ci àdduna because li ma war yépp defal naa leen ko yónni naa ay nit yoo xam ne ci yéen lañ bokk muy ay doomu aadama comme yéen ma wàcce suma wax ci ñooñu ñu wax leen ko ngeen jàng ko kon nag fi mu nekk yéen a ma uutu ci àdduna yéen doomu aadama yi su ko defee kon ñu bàyyi xel ni xam-xam rek mooy liy doxal àdduna xam-xam itam mooy tax nit ki borom bi yërëm ko dimbali ko ba pare yóbbu ko aljana te xam-xam boobu noonu bi ci gën a fés gën cee wér mooy xam-xam bu lay jëmale ci yàlla te xam-xam bii nga xam ni moom la ñoom góor a def ci seen téere yi le mooy xam-xam boo xam ne daf ñu jubale ci yàlla because yi nga xam ne dem nañ yeneen réew daal di feddee géewu fàtte luy àdduna fàtte luy seen cosaan fàtte seen diine ñooñal la naka lañ def xaasiroona lañ def dañ perte àdduna perte àllaaxira loolu nag yal nañ ci yàlla musal loolu moo tax ñoom ñu am bées bile pour bindi téere bile ba nga xam ne yow ci li nga bokk muy ak li tax yàlla isi la fii doo ko fàtte foo mun a nekk ci àdduna bi su ko defee nga sóoraale ko nga xam fi ngay teg sa tànk yal na yàlla dimbali yal na yàlla def ci bug bile itam barke ci barke yonent bi barke alquran bi allahumma salli ala sayyidina muhammadin wa sallam.
Well, viewers, you've heard it from Mr. Gora Faal and some of the reviewers who have highly recommended the book. And we had fantastic presentations from Nusrat Senior Secondary School and the West African International School. And the importance of publication in the Gambia has also been highlighted. Until we come your way next time, bye for now.